Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So the other day I was browsing my comments section on YouTube, reading through my comments, because I do. People think I don't. People are like, Austin, why don't you ever read your comments? I read my comments. So if you comment something, and it's, in the top, 20 comments, I usually see it. But I'm reading my comments the other day, and I see a comment from this dude being like, yo, man, can you tell some more fight stories? Now listen, your boy Austin, I'm not really one of those people that believes in violence, alright? I'm not that kind of dude that's gonna be the first one to be like, yo, let's throw some hands. Like, I'm not that type of dude. However, if someone walks up to me and just smacks me in the face for no good reason and starts beating on me, I'm gonna defend myself. That's kind of how I view fighting, only in self-defense kind of situations, which I feel like a lot of people understand. But anyway, I got thinking after I read that comment, and I remembered this one story time that I haven't told yet that I thought you guys might enjoy. It's about a high school fight I got into that got me suspended, and I thought you guys would enjoy hearing it. Now, before I jump into this story time is for entertainment purposes only. Don't go out after watching a story time of mine and go repeating things I talk about, because that's not good. Don't do that. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoy this story time, and let's jump right into it. So today's story time all takes place in the final year of my high school career. I was in high school, just getting by, just barely getting by. I was like kind of passing my classes. A couple of them I wasn't doing so well in. But I was trying to keep my head down, stay out of trouble, get my stuff done, trying to graduate, trying to do my thing. And there was this one dude who I had a bunch of classes with. Let's call this guy Brian, okay? Brian was a grade A dickhead. I don't say that about a lot of people, but Brian was a grade A dickhead. You're probably wondering, Austin, why was Brian a grade A dickhead? Why are you calling him that? Well, Brian was the type of dude where if he had nothing going on and he was bored, he would just fuck with somebody. Like, just randomly start bullying somebody, just being a dickhead. And I didn't like him for that. I saw him mess with my friends. He messed with me a couple times when I let it slide. I saw him mess with the quiet people in our class, people that weren't doing anything wrong, just sitting there doing their work. He would, throw things at them and shit. Like, he just wasn't a good dude. Brian was definitely not a good guy. Oh, and I also failed to mention, Brian was held back in a bunch of his classes. I was in 11th grade at the time. He was in 12th. And he was in a bunch of my classes because he was held back. And I think he was held back in other classes too, even further. All I know is that Brian was 18 and I was 17. It's important for later on in the story time. So this story time all starts off as a normal school day. I get to school, I get off the bus, I walk into school, go to my locker. I had some time before my first period class, so I put my backpack in my locker, grabbed some money, and then I closed my locker and went up to the cafeteria and grabbed breakfast and brought it back down to my locker and ate it there because that's where I like to eat, because the cafeteria was filled with people. I just wanted some alone time because I was really tired and just out of it. So I'm just standing at my locker with it open, leaning up against it. I'm eating my breakfast, eating this bagel, thinking about the fact that I have a 6-hour day ahead of me at school and how I don't want to do it. But yeah, I'm just standing there, minding my own business, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see Brian coming up to me. And I'm thinking okay, what's he want? What's he about to ask me? And he just walks up to me, slaps the bagel out of my hand, makes it fall on the floor, laughs in my face, and walks away. Now, I was so pissed off, so angry. All I wanted to do was run up behind him and smack him. But at the same time, I was like, okay, you know what? If I do that, I'll probably get suspended for a week. And I'm way too tired. I'm way too exhausted. I definitely have no fighting chance against him right now. Plus, he was a senior and older than me and stronger than me. So I really did not feel like fighting Brian right this second. Just did not feel like it. So I let him do that and get away with it, even though I really didn't want to. And I turn back around, I pick up my food, I throw it out in the garbage, and I go to my first period class, trying not to think about what just happened. So, for most of the school day, things were pretty normal. I saw Brian a couple more times throughout the day. He didn't do anything. But then, towards the end of the day, it was my second to last period class, a class that I had with Brian. And Brian sat pretty close to me in this class. He wasn't right next to me, but he was at the same table as me. It was like tables of 3, and he was at the end of the table, and I was at the other end, and there was someone between us. But it was still close enough to annoy me. I walk into class, I sit down. Brian walks in super late. He sits down at the table. And he's not listening at all to what the teacher's saying. And don't get me wrong, I did that quite a few times too. I would zone out and not listen. But he was just on his phone texting, and I was trying to pay attention because I was trying to pass this class. And after the teacher talks for a little bit, she starts handing out a quiz for everybody to do. And the minute she hands it to me, I just get right to it and I finish it as fast as I can because I just didn't want to sit there and take too long on it. And after I finish, I'm just sitting there, not really doing much. And all of a sudden, I hear someone go, Austin, yo. And I turn and I look, and it's Brian, and he's whispering at me from across the table. And I just look at him, and he goes, what are the answers? And I was like, oh yeah, you want my answers? You should have thought about that before you smacked my breakfast out of my hand this morning. So yeah, fuck you, Brian. And he just gets all mad. He's like, really? You're still mad about that? Get the fuck over it. I'm like, dude, fuck you. And the teacher goes, guys, please stop talking. And we both go back to just kind of sitting there doing nothing. And Brian was very angry. He was giving me a death stare the entire rest of class. Like literally for the whole rest of class, he was just staring at me with a super evil look. Like he really wanted to hurt me. So fast forward to the end of class, I'm walking out, I walk out in the hallway, and as I'm walking to my locker, all of a sudden I feel someone push me as hard as they can, and I almost fall over, and I turn around, and it's none other than Brian himself, standing there. And the minute he pushes me, everybody sees, everyone starts gathering around, because they think there's about to be a fight, and Brian goes, fuck you, dude, you fucked my whole class up. Now, pushing somebody in an argument is already a form of assault, but I didn't want to do anything about it just right then and there because it wasn't enough to piss me off that much. I was just like, all right, whatever. So I turn around and I start walking away, right? I'm like, I'm not going to entertain this dumbass. I'm not going to say anything back to him because I'm not trying to get into a fight right now. I'm just trying to finish out my year without getting expelled. So I'm walking away thinking that's the end of it. I start walking through the crowd, trying to get out of there. And all of a sudden, he grabs me by the back of my shirt and pulls me back by my neck, basically. And that was when I had enough of that shit. Like slapping the food out of my hand, pushing me, and then finally grabbing me by the shirt and basically pulling me by my neck and choking me. That's when I was like, fuck this. So I make a fist and I turn around full speed and just land it right on his face. Like full speed hit him in the face. But it doesn't end there. He falls to the ground completely knocked out. Like completely out cold. And at this point, I'm immediately regretting what I did. Like listen, as much as I don't like Brian and I think he's a dickhead, hitting him in the face and knocking him out is something I never wanted to do to him. Like, that's just not what I thought would happen. So I stand there for a second and I make sure he's okay. Like, he comes to, he wakes up, he's looking at me all confused, but he was responding to people, he was talking, he got up on his feet, he seemed fine. He wasn't fighting me anymore because I think he realized that he lost. And I turn around and I quickly walk away because I was not trying to get caught and suspended or expelled or something. So I walked away as fast as I could, just hoping that no teacher saw that and that I don't have to go to the principal's office. And I'm like freaking out, right? So I decided to just bail on school altogether. I just walk out one of the side doors and walk across the street to this restaurant and order a drink because I was just so freaked out. So I'm sitting at this table by myself, skipping my last class of the day, skipping school early basically, and drinking a fucking Pepsi, just tweaked out. And all of a sudden I look up and I see the school police officer walk into the restaurant because it's right across the street. He walks up to my table and he sits down and he goes, hey Austin, principal's looking for you. I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, heard you got into a fight. I was like, yep. He goes, all right, come with me. He walks me out of the restaurant, puts me in the back of his car, drives me back to school, drives me up to the front, go inside. I go to the principal's office. I sit down. None other than Brian himself is in the office, just sitting there looking angry. Principal's sitting there looking angry. I sit down, and the principal goes, Austin, what'd you do? I was like, yeah, I got into a fight. And the principal goes, yeah, obviously you did. First of all, Brian, you're a senior. Why are you pushing Austin and trying to fight him? You're 18, he's 17. That's assaulting a minor. And I'm thinking about it for a second, and I'm like, oh shit, he is 18. And for some strange reason, I felt super relieved. I was like, okay, he's 18, like, that means he's way more in trouble than I am because he's an adult, and like, he was trying to assault a minor, so like, that's not good. And the principal basically ends up saying that I'm still suspended for 2 days because I punched him, and that's not okay either. And the principal also suspended Brian for 2 days. So yeah, in the end, we both got the same punishment anyway. I thought that he would get more in trouble, but that wasn't the case because, well, I knocked Brian out, and that's not very good. So yeah, moral of the story is, don't be like Brian, and also don't go around fighting people for no reason. That's not good either. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time and found it to be crazy. I thought it was a crazy one. If you did enjoy, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Pace on back, I don't wanna look back, I don't want it like that. I've been going too fast, all the girls like that, and the fake ones wanna see my pulse go